Hello, welcome to Yoga with Sarah Beebe. I'm Sarah. Let's begin in a comfortable seated posture. Take your time to get settled into the space. Sometimes it can be helpful to rock a little forward to back, side to side, just to find your sitting bones beneath you. Start to lengthen through the spine, growing all the way up through the crown of the head and grounding down a little bit deeper into your sitting bones. If it feels comfortable, perhaps close the eyes or gently bring that gaze softly downward, whatever feels best in your body today. And start to tap into the breath here. Start to notice how the breath flows through the body. Notice the places where your breath is easily going to. Notice the places where the breath doesn't go. Do a subtle body scan from the crown of the head all the way down to the tips of the toes, and just take a moment to notice where you might be gripping or holding on or carrying tension in the body. Just notice where the body is holding, gripping. And I invite you to start to send your breath to those places. Start to notice how the breath can have an effect on the physical body when we start to direct the breath to those places of holding on. And that might mean you keep your breath free and easy, right where it's at, but just intentionally and mindfully send the breath to those places. Otherwise, if it feels comfortable in your body, maybe you begin to expand and deepen the breath. So filling up on your inhales, filling up all the way down to the belly, filling up the ribs into the chest. And on your exhale, drawing in ever so subtly through the navel towards the spine, feeling the ribs knit together as you release that stale air. And so with each inhale, feel an expansiveness, a growing into the space. And with each exhale, feel a knitting together or a drawing in of the physical body, but a release of that stale air. It might help to bring awareness to the jaw, loosening, and maybe finding an open mouth exhale. Take anywhere from 3 to 5, maybe even 6 more breaths here. Grounding down through the sitting bones, lengthening all the way through the crown of the head, expanding and releasing. So it's this equal and opposite movement in both directions. Just bringing awareness there to that place. One more complete breath here. With the hands gently resting on the knees, slowly on the inhale, begin to rock forward, lifting your heart, maybe lifting the chin into a cow back. On your exhale, tuck the chin, tuck the tailbone, round through the back body, finding a cat back. So with each inhale you take, rock forward, lifting heart, maybe the chin. With each exhale you take, use the leverage against the knees, the hands against the knees, to rock back. And find your own pattern, your own rhythm. Marry your movement with your breath. And let your breath be full. And let it release what you no longer need. Therein lies the power of the breath, bringing new life in with each breath, with each inhale, and allowing an invitation to let go of that which you don't any longer need on the exhale. Take one more complete breath here. And then start to find a circular pattern through the heart center. So we're kind of exploring that same movement through the back body, reaching the heart forward on the front part of that circle, rounding through the back body on the back part of that circle. But this time we're just bridging the sides of the circle as well. And this creates a giant circular motion. And of course, you get to decide if that circle is giant or perhaps small. Maybe you stay in a smaller circle if that feels more comfortable. That's a great place to be as well. You get to decide. Let your practice unfold in a way that feels authentic to you today. I am simply a guide offering suggestions, but you are your best teacher. You get to decide, you get to explore how your practice unfolds. That is the gift. If it feels right, perhaps switch directions of those circles. Slowly come right back to neutral with your heart, letting your head rest above the shoulders, the heart above the pelvic bowl. Maybe close the eyes here and just feel the sensations in the body after that movement that we invited in. And your next inhale, sweep the hands high to the sky, reaching up. Find a steeple grip at the top, or just push the palms together here, and then begin to bend into the elbows, drawing the hands behind the head, maybe letting the thumbs drop towards the nape of the neck. Notice if you have a tendency to want to tuck your chin here. That can be really normal to kind of tuck and round. See if you can keep the spine long, the crown lifted, and bring awareness to the ribs here. If the ribs are jutting out, just bring a slight engagement to the core, finding some neutrality through the midsection. Inhale, lift hands high. On your exhale, float the arms down, nice and slow. Take up space, take your time. Touch the ground, inhale, sweep up. Exhale, float the arms down, maybe roll out the wrists slowly as you do so. Touch down, inhale. And exhale. Inhale, lift to the sky, interlace the fingers above the head, reach the palms up. Take a pause here, maybe find a circular pattern, maybe find a C curve of the spine to one side and the other. Just take a moment here to explore. As you explore, melt the shoulders away from the ears. So if your ears are, or your shoulders are hugging up to your ears, see if you can just drop the shoulders away. Relax the shoulder blades down the back body. 2 more breaths here, just exploring in your own way, on your own time. And come back to neutral, release hands, fingertips reach to the sky. Exhale, draw the hands to the heart. Take a pause, close the eyes perhaps, or bring the gaze softly downward. Let the thumbs rest against the sternum. Feel your heartbeat. Notice the rise and fall of your chest with each breath you take. And take a moment here to set an intention for your practice, something you want to manifest on your mat. It could be anything at all, maybe a word, a mantra, a feeling. Whatever comes to mind here, start to feel it bubble up in the body. One more breath in to breathe that intention into the body. And breath out. When you feel ready, we'll rock forward into tabletop, coming to all fours. Spread those fingers nice and wide right under the shoulders. Knees come right under the hips. On your next inhale, lengthen through the crown and the tailbone. Find your cow pose. Exhale, round and curl, tucking the chin and the tailbone. Moving with your breath. Inhale, lengthening through the crown, through the tail. Exhale, rounding it out. If you have any low back or back injuries that you're tending to, if you have baby on board and are pregnant, or if it just doesn't feel right in your body today, just be mindful of cow pose. And maybe in cow, instead of dropping belly and bringing gaze up, maybe you just find a length through the crown and the tail, drawing the shoulder blades down the back body, shoulders away from the ears. Know that you get to decide. Once again, start to notice any movement that wants to make its way into this breath work, into this connection of breath and body. Maybe your hips want to sway side to side or in a circular pattern. Start to let that unfolding happen in a way that feels right and authentic in your body today. 2 more complete breaths here. Coming right back to neutral tabletop spine. Take that left leg and reach it right out of the hip. So foot is flexed and activated. Toes are pointing to the earth. Inhale, prepare. Exhale, slowly draw knee in, rounding through the back body, tucking the chin. Inhale, nice and long, reaching foot out. Exhale, draw it in. Let's do 2 more, just like that. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale, nice and long. Exhale, draw it in. Inhale, reaching, holding here. Option to extend opposite arm. Just test that balance. Draw the navel in towards the spine, finding that length and that support. Release hands to the earth. Take that extended leg and bring it out to the side. So you're just kind of bringing that foot right to the side of the mat. Leg is at a 90-degree angle. Lifting up through the heart. Bring the forearm to the top of the thigh, reaching up and over. And just feel that nice C curve of the spine here. On your next inhale, lift both hands to the sky, finding that neutral place. Exhale, surrender down to the earth. Maybe touch the hands and sink the hips back. Inhale, lift up, maybe invite in a gentle back bend. Exhale, almost into a modified child's pose with an extended bent knee leg. Inhale. Exhale. And once more, lifting and surrendering. Holding here, take a pause. So that leg is still bent, foot is grounded to the earth. Let the head soften, the neck release. And slowly just rock back up to your tabletop, taking some movement here through the hips, through the back body. Finding that tabletop neutrality and reaching opposite leg back. So that right leg reaches to the back of your mat. Foot is flexed, toes are active. Inhale. Exhale, draw knee in, rounding through the back body. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, bring it in. Move nice and slow. Inhaling, reaching that foot back. Exhale, draw it in. And once more, big breath in. And out. Inhale, reaching, extending that leg straight back. Take opposite arm if you choose. Reach it forward. And just notice the subtle adjustments in the body as you find your balance. Drawing the navel in towards the spine, squaring off the hips. Release hand to the earth. Bring that right foot right to the side of the mat. 90-degree bend in the knee. Lift up through the heart. Bring the forearm to the top of the thigh. Reach up and over. Nice giant C curve. Inhale, lift both hands high to the sky at center. Exhale, surrender, sinking hips back, maybe bringing hands to the earth. Inhale, lift up, maybe invite in a back bend. Exhale. 2 more. Inhaling, lifting to the sky. Exhaling, release. 1 more big breath in. And out, holding here in this modified child's pose with foot to the ground, knee bent. Soften the head towards the earth, release through the neck. And slowly make your way right back up into neutral tabletop. Take some movement here. Preparing to make our way into downward facing dog. Bring the hands a palm's distance in front of the shoulders. Spread those fingers nice and wide. Ground down through the palm as well as through the finger pads. Tuck the toes and just start maybe by rocking forward and back. Push back to the heels. Rock your heart towards the top of the mat. Just take a little bit of movement here, rocking forward and back, forward and back. Whenever you're ready, start to find that neutral place and begin by hovering the knees, maybe 1 inch above the mat. And then start to send your tailbone up and back. And you might keep a giant bend in the knees. Maybe that's where you want to hang out tonight. That's a great place to be. Softening the heart towards the thighs, nodding the head yes, shaking the head back and forth, drawing the inner parts of the elbows in towards one another, feeling a subtle separation of the shoulder blades down the back body. And you might explore in the legs, pedaling perhaps from foot to foot, maybe rising up on the tippy toes, sinking the heels, maybe bending deep into the knees, straightening, settling in here. And then gazing to the top of your mat, start to tiptoe your way up into a forward fold, taking your time getting there. Once you find this fold, let yourself hang heavy. You can let the arms swing free. That can feel good in the shoulder blades and in the shoulders. Maybe grabbing opposite elbows with opposite hands. Letting the upper body spill forward into ragdoll. Maybe inviting in a deep bend into the knees to find that release a little bit more in the low back versus the hamstrings. You get to pick. Choose your own adventure here. And releasing hands if they aren't already. Bend comes into the knees. Chin tucks. Begin to peel up. 1 vertebrae at a time. Maybe massage your way up the front of the legs as you rise into your standing Tadasana. And take this opportunity. Find your groundedness. Pick up each of your 10 toes, plant them into the earth. Take some exaggerated shoulder rolls here. Find some stillness in your standing Tadasana. Feel the breath move through the body. Maybe bring hands to heart center, pressing your thumbs against your sternum, your beating heart. Moving through some simple and basic sun A's. Inhale, lift hands high. Exhale, fold it forward, nice and slow. Inhale, halfway lift, lengthen the spine, draw your tailbone back. Exhale, fold. Rooting into the earth, lift hands high as you inhale. Exhale, fold it forward, nice and slow. Inhale, half lift, lengthen the spine. Exhale, fold. Again, lifting high. Exhaling, fold it forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, release. Move through two more, just like this, on your own breath, lifting and surrendering, finding the connection to your breath with your movement. Meeting up in a forward fold, letting your body hang heavy, letting your head release, crown reaches towards the mat. And from here, plant the hands and step back into your downward facing dog, taking your time getting there. Welcome in movement here, if that serves you well. On your next inhale, reach the right leg to the sky. Option here to just hover the toes above the mat. You can do that as well. Find movement if you choose, maybe into the ankle or into the hip. Or find some stillness, just squaring off the hips into that three-legged dog. Inhale, prepare. Exhale, draw the knee in towards the chest and place the foot down into a low lunge. Rotate that back heel down to the earth, blossom open into your warrior two. Take a pause here. Imagine you're ripping the mat apart with the feet, engaging through the legs. And give those fingers a little wiggle. Maybe turn the palms to the sky. Release the shoulder blades down. Flip them right back over. And breathe. See if you can bend a little bit deeper into that knee. On your next inhale, reverse warrior, lifting up and back. Gaze is maybe up towards the sky or towards that back foot, whichever feels right in your body. Straightening that front leg, bring arms to neutral, and then slowly begin to reach as far forward as you can, tick-tocking the arms, finding triangle. Micro mini bend in that front knee. Option to keep triangle lifted here, bringing hand maybe a little bit closer to the inner part of the knee, still lifting it up. You get to decide what this looks like. Gaze is wherever it's comfortable. One more breath. From here, bend right into that front knee. Bring forearm to thigh. Extended side angle. Straightening that front leg as we lift up and back into reverse triangle. Feel that lift through the side body. So the ribs should feel like they're really lifting away from the right hip. And then simply turning the toes, or turning the hips, towards the top of the mat. And I kind of like to shift my hips and then widen my stance. So we're in a warrior one. bending into that front knee. Hips are square to the top of the mat. Interlace the hands behind the back here. Lift the heart and draw the hands down towards the mat. Maybe bring the gaze upward. Gaze can stay neutral right in front of you as well. Release the clasp behind the back. Inhale, pop up on those back toes into a high crescent lunge. Exhale, frame the front foot. Step back into downward facing dog. Option to move through a vinyasa if you have a vinyasa practice. Just to build a little more heat or get a little bit more movement in. But know that pushing back into down dog and finding movement there is getting just as much benefit in your movement. Holding your down dog for 2 to 4 breaths. Allow the breath to flow in and out. When you feel ready, lifting left leg to the sky. Option again to find movement through the ankle or perhaps into the hip joint. Or maybe just find stillness in that 3-legged dog, squaring off the hips. Inhale, prepare. Exhale, slowly draw the knee in towards the chest. Plant the foot down into a low lunge. Rotate that back heel down. Blossom open. Warrior 2. Bending into that front knee. Find your breath. Rip the mat apart with the soles of the feet, engaging through the legs. Maybe widen the stance, maybe bend a little deeper into that front knee. On your next inhale, reverse that warrior, lifting up and back. Straighten the front leg, bring arms to neutral, reach as far forward as you can. Tick-tock the arms. Triangle pose. And again, feel free to keep your triangle lifted, creating space. Maybe bring it down a little lower, or perhaps a little lower. Wherever you're at, just feel that hingeness through the hips. Feel that ability to hinge. And you'll kind of know in your own body where that sweet spot is for you. Bend right back into that front knee. Bring the forearm to the thigh. Just easing right into our extended side angle. Lifting up, straightening that front leg into a reverse triangle. And again, feel the lift of the ribs here. Feel the length being created through the side of the body. And then squaring off the hips, bringing both hands to the sky. Once again, I like to keep that back heel grounded, but just widen my stance ever so slightly in order to square those hips off. Drawing that left hip back in space, the right hip draws forward. Breathing here. And then placing a clasp of the hands behind the back, lifting your heart, maybe lifting your gaze. Bringing gaze back to neutral. If it's lifted, release the clasp behind the back. Pop up on those back toes to find a high crescent lunge. And exhale, frame the foot. Step back right away into your down dog, or perhaps move through a vinyasa. And take anywhere from 3 to 4 breaths in your down dog. When you feel ready to make your way into child's pose, bring the knees nice and wide. Toes come to touch. Sink the hips back. letting the forehead rest heavy on something, even if that means stacked forearms or fists, or perhaps to the earth. Wherever you're at, feel your heart melt towards the earth, towards your space beneath you, towards Mother Earth. Three to five more breaths here. We'll come to our comfortable seat. So maybe rocking through tabletop and then coming to your comfortable crisscross legs. Take a moment to find your sitting bones, find the length of your spine once again, just like we did at the beginning of practice. And maybe even uncross the legs and cross them the other way. So this can feel really awkward in the body. Just take notice of any sensations in the hips or in the ankles or anywhere throughout the legs as you explore that kind of different way or unnatural way of crossing your legs. And take a moment to breathe into your practice, to breathe into your intention, knowing that the core of any yoga practice that we move through is within the breath, our life force or our pranayama. Allow that connection through the sitting bones, that connection to earth. Draw in some added energy. Take the hands at a tented position right in front of you. And we're going to start to crawl the hands out a little bit further in front of your body. And then begin to find almost a circular pattern. So obviously you can't tent behind the body, but you're going to begin to just find almost a spider crawling movement. When you lift up, you maybe take a little gentle back bend, lifting the heart. Starting to notice any sensations in the body as you explore this movement, almost like you're tracing or crawling a circle around your space. Perhaps switch directions. Don't worry about if there's a place in this circle process where it doesn't feel comfortable to put your hands. Maybe you just skip over that place and do what feels right and accessible in your body. And you should have some different sensations coming into the hips, especially if you uncross those legs and cross them in your unnatural way. And come right back to neutral when you feel complete. Sigh it out, maybe move through the head and the neck, finding some circles or some half circles. Slowly we'll make our way down to the back body. Feel free to get there however you choose. Maybe rocking to one hip and sliding your way down, or coming all the way down through the length of the spine. Rock the knees side to side, a little windshield wiper movement through the legs, through the knees. And then draw the knees in towards the body, giving yourself a giant hug, and continue rocking perhaps side to side. And this just massages into the low back. Massages through the length of the spine. Release the soles of the feet to the earth into a bent knee position. The hands rest along the sides of the body. Just take a pause here, feel the breath move through the body, but also feel the breath against the earth. As you inhale and feel that expansiveness, feel your body not only press against the earth, but also expand into the space above you. Take that right ankle, cross it over the left knee. Allow that right knee to draw subtly away from the body. And then from here, slowly just begin to let the hip and the right foot fall to the left side of the mat. Shoulder blades stay connected to the earth. Maybe you draw that right knee down towards the bottom of the mat. So drawing that leg away from the body to open that hip. Slowly drawing the legs back to center. Release the cross of the ankle. Take some windshield wipers of the knees, side to side. And then find that stillness. Soles of the feet rest against the earth. Take the left ankle, cross it over your right knee, and then begin to let the hip fall and the foot fall to the right side of your mat. Once again, notice that top knee or that left knee. Start to draw it away from your body. Opening into that hip a little more. Shoulder blades stay connected to the earth. And come right back up through neutral. Release the cross of the foot. Windshield wiper the knees. Side to side. Hug the knees into the body, but this time draw the knees apart. So the knees or the legs are going to kind of come along the sides of the ribs. And again, maybe rock a little here. You can stay right here, just holding the shins or drawing the knees in. Maybe lift the soles of the feet up. The legs are at a 90-degree angle, grabbing inner or outer arches of the feet as you find happy baby pose. Releasing the feet down to the bottom of the mat. The arms reach all the way to the top. So you're taking a nice giant stretch. Feel free to adjust your body on your mat. Maybe find a little movement through the hips. Stretch, make yourself as long as you can. And when you're ready, soften the arms down along the sides of the body, finding your final resting pose. Letting your body be heavy in the space, supporting you. Starting to feel your muscles melt away from the bones. And as you settle in and get any final wiggles out to enter into a state of stillness, in the mind and in the body alike. Maybe you rock the head a little side to side. Maybe tuck the shoulders under the body. And then let your breath be free and easy. Let the earth support and hold you in this pose. Feel a sense of letting go as you begin to soften. So your physical body is literally letting go of holding on, letting go of tension, of any expectation. So let yourself enter into a state of being here. Perhaps the lips slightly part as the jaw releases its grip. Feel a gentle awareness begin to come back into the physical body, noticing the inhales and the exhales. Perhaps slowly beginning to wiggle the fingers and the toes, or gently rocking the head side to side. Maybe big inhale through the nose, an open mouth exhale. Slowly on your own time, begin to bend into the knees and roll to one side or the other, using that bottom arm as a pillow. When you feel ready, begin to make your way into a comfortable seated posture, taking your time getting there, maybe keeping the eyes closed. As you find seated, bringing hands to your heart, feeling your heartbeat. Bringing awareness to clear and loving intentions. Bringing hands to the third eye, that space between your eyebrows, your seat of intuition. Bringing awareness to clear and loving thoughts. Bringing hands to the lips. Bringing awareness to clear and loving words. And then back to your heart. Feel your breath move through the body. Reminding yourself you have that tool with you wherever you go. Thank you for joining me for practice today. Be well.